Sean Sheehan here for Severe MMA at the Bellator Dublin Media Day, standing alongside the man himself, Richard Kiely, who fights this. The face of Bellator, Richard Kiely.
You forgot it already.
I didn't forget already.
Have another fight again, are you?
I was the elephant in the room. I suppose I'll break it. So, what was your thoughts on it? I suppose like after that and after the fight itself, the biggest fight of your life, obviously against MVP. There was a lot of stuff talked before the fight, after the interview, and after the fight as well. How was kind of your reaction to that afterwards and before it even?
Look, my reaction at the time, the reason why I got so agitated and I suppose irked, vexed, whatever you want to call it, was because look, I knew what it was going into. I knew I was going into, and I suppose I was pissed off. I was pissed off at the situation, at the injury. I was pissed off then. Like I said, I think that fight happens to me in a full complement of health. It's a completely different fight. Look, win or lose, whatever. It's a fight. It's competitive. Like even if you see how I moved in the fight, I was stiff. It's like getting tasered every time I moved. But look, that's done. It's put to bed now. But that was the reason behind why I was so agitated and vexed with it. What you call it? Normally I wouldn't give a shit. I'd let people talk. Whether they're talking or not is positive. It's good, But in this instance, like I said, I was pissed off. I was pissed off at the situation. I was pissed off that I knew going in that I wouldn't be able to perform. Like I knew I was going into that fight. I was being deliberately extra antagonistic to him to see if he'd come out. The only chance I knew I would have was left hook. It's the only thing I had. It's the only thing I had in the arsenal. So look, it is what it is.
So what exactly was the injury? I know it's a while back now, but you put up one post. You haven't really been on social media much since on Instagram. You put one post on Instagram and a few things, and haven't really been on Twitter or anything. What kind of was the injury, and what was the reason you haven't kind of done that maybe?
Yeah, so look, I don't want to go into the injury, but it is too much. I'll probably when I finish fighting, I'll probably go in. But it's probably the most serious injury I've ever had. But Bellator were pissed off, and justifiably so. They were really pissed off. I was pissed off. John Kavanagh was pissed off, and I can completely understand why. Particularly after the back of the fight, like without context, the fight looked shit, and I know that. But like I said, when I finished, I'll tell the injury. It was a quite serious one, with a risk of really serious long-term injury, which hasn't come to fruition, thank God. But I'm back now. I really feel good. Like I know everyone says that, and it's one of those things that people trot out now. But I feel really good, and I think it's going to be some vintage Richard Kiely in there. It's the Richard Kiely the ones where you've seen the knockouts, you see me loose and what have you. So yeah.
It's not long since the MVP fight, all things told, with a serious injury, and you only took this fight in 2 weeks' notice, 2 or 3 weeks' notice. How fit are you coming into it?
Fit enough to knock George out. That's all you need to know. Fit enough to knock George out. Look, I'll make weight. I'll go in. Look, there's no point in I was fit coming into. I was fit up to the fight. I was training. Because on the back of that injury, I was so frustrated, that I wanted to just get straight back in. And again, as always, you go back too early, and you can't. So you have to take some time. And as soon as I felt it being good again, I was there straight back in. I just want to get back in. I feel like I have a point to prove now, and not to anyone else, to me. I have the bit between my teeth. I'm hungry now, and that's part of the reason why. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off with everyone and everything now at the moment. And poor old George is going to be in the firing line for that. And seems like a decent dude, but tough shit. He's going in there, he's going to get the head punched off him. Like MVP should have got the head punched off him.
Myself and Andy were doing a podcast last night, and we were talking about it, like your career. But I've talked to you on the podcast before, and you kind of said you want to get in, you want to get big fights, because you kind of came to MMA late and everything like that. You got the couple of big fights, the Bama title fight, you got the MVP fight. Is now a case of you want to get one win and maybe get a big fight again, or do you want to get 4 or 5 wins, earn your way back, and then get a big fight?
No, look, if the big fights come, I'm always going to take it. If the big fights are there, I'm always going to be taken. Because like I said, I haven't performed in the big fights, and there's been mitigating circumstances. One was a cruciate knee ligament injury, and the other one was this injury. And they're the two big fights that I had, and it's just been shit luck. Just really, really shit luck. And the only reason that I would have pulled out of those fights, only the 2 fights wouldn't have come along again. And that's just they were the reasons I took the fights. I took the MVP fight. I would have pulled out of that, only financially he wouldn't have taken the fight again. That financial payday wouldn't have come along again, and I had, I put my son first on this occasion. That's his money, and but yeah, look, I'm going back, and I think a performance here. If I put in a really good performance here, I'm going to be looking for the big fights again. I haven't changed. I'm still vocal. I'm still outspoken, and believe me, it's someone with a target on their back as soon as this fight is over. And you're going to find out about who it is fairly quickly, and so is he.
Any ideas? Any Paul Daly maybe? Is Paul Daly still in Bellator, or is he gone?
I haven't got a clue. He's of a transient nature. So he is. I don't know what he's doing. He's, you know, I don't know what he's doing. You know, he's probably the most unlikable person from a promoter ever. Like they always just seem to go out, get a pain to hold, and just go on your bike. But look, I just want to. I'm going to put an exclamation point on this performance. But there's big fights out there for me. But I need to show that I deserve to be in those big fights. You know, and let's call a spade off the back of the last one. I didn't. So I'm realistic. I'm not going in here and going, oh look, whatchamacallit. I need to show why I'm the face. You know, I need to show, you know, how look, we've seen what we can do when I'm on form. And now I'm going in injury free, and like I said, George Hardwick is the perfect opponent to do it. He's likes to strike, but look, he's going to be like everyone else. He's going to get a touch of a jab, and I say this all the time, a touch of a jab, and you go for the clinch, go for the shoot.
Yeah, watching, I suppose, last thing on George himself and on the fight itself, you know, watching a bit of his fights, he reminds me of, you know, after Conor McGregor came through in Ireland, obviously a lot of the fighters in Ireland were kind of maybe fighting out of a karate stance and kind of boxing. That seems to be the way he fights as well. Your style going up against that, how do you think that'll play out?
I fancy my style against anyone. I fancy my style. In a full complement health, you can stick whatever type of style you want in front of me. You know, and that's. Look, where he fights any other fighter, I'm sure he's a solid. You look good at a fighter who will fight him at his own style and let him do it. If he wants me, I'll beat him at his own style. You know, I haven't decided I'll decide in there what way I'm going to beat him. But look, he's a solid opponent. He's a tough opponent. I'm not underestimating him. But what has he got? He's got 3 or 4 decisions. Has he had a stoppage? I think he had a few in his amateur career, but he hasn't had a stoppage in the pro ranks. Not one of my fights have gone the distance, you know. And the ones that I've finished, I've put them away, you know. And even, you have a look, even the Alex Lahore fight, you know, we saw what happened there. He took a jab, panicked straight in for a shoot, you know, and he could barely finish me on one leg. He had to grab the dodgy leg, so, you know. And look, I'm not even going to talk about the vagina page first fight, you know. If I see him, by the way, he's getting a slap.
I lied. I said last question. Like, what did you think of the antics in there? You know, he had a bit of.
I don't give a shit about the antics. Let him. It's the. As far as I'm concerned, the antics leading up to the fight, and the fight is the end. It's the exclamation point in it. You know, he wanted to carry out outside the cage. Well, that's all right by me. If he wants to do that, that's all right by me. You know, I'll see him again. That fight might happen again. You know, I'm not ruling that fight out. You know, when people can laugh at the other side of their face, but if I see him, he's getting a slap on the back of the head. You know, because he'd be running away.
Richard, Irish MMA is a better place when Richard Kiely's around. Thank you, Richard.